Thanks, Jurgen, for coming to spend some time with me. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks, Tracy. Living the dream, as you can see here, and you know, sunny Australia, blue sky, kookaburras laughing in the background. It's just amazing. And thank you for the invitation to share some time with you.
Well, I am really excited because I know that the people who come to your international call are hooked. I've
Yeah,
heard testimonials from them and I love it. But quite frankly, my bedtime's around 8 a.m. and I think your call is around 1 a.m. my time. So it just it doesn't work for me.
yeah.
And I'm
Oh, I get
sure
it.
there's a lot of people here in the States that are like that. But what is the magic behind your calls?
If I was to say it in one word, Tracy, I think it's authenticity. And what what I love about hosting the call, the members are just amazing, truly amazing. And each member has just got an incredible story to share. And you know that because you've interviewed so many of them, and they're all, um, unique, and they've all got something really special to share. So it's like we have a conversation once a week. And in this space, quantum healing, frequencies, it's it's at the moment, it's not mainstream in terms of the narrative, and it should be and it will be, but it's not. And I think when you're an early adopter, if you like, in something that you just know with every fiber of your being is the future. Frequency is the future of medicine. It's the future of healing. It's the future of wellness. Golly, it's the future of pretty much everything. It reframes the way we think about life. And for a lot of folks, there's there's not many places that they can go and be amongst people where they can have a conversation about this miracle that is frequency, especially as it relates to healing, which is obviously what we're all about, is healing humanity. I love that. It's such a bold statement, healing humanity. What's not to love about that, right, Tracy?
Oh, that's right. We're the rebels who dare to say that.
Well, I say to people, and the folks that join us, the members, we're way showers in essence. We are, people ask me, well, what do you do, Jurgen? And Deb, when we're together, I said, well, we're working on raising the vibrational frequency of humanity. And it's, as bold a statement as we're healing humanity. Because as we get out of the weeds, as we get out of this 3D world and this 3D thinking that's predicated in scarcity and limitations and constraints, and we recognize that's a construct that really we've been automatically conditioned into adopting. And now, when we confront that and acknowledge it for what it is, we get to choose whether that is still something that serves us, or do we believe there's something greater? And
Mm.
are we something greater? And when we inherently recognize that divinity in us and bring it into our consciousness, then I think that's where magic really starts to happen. And so what I like to do on the Zoom calls is we have a topic of the week, and we give it some thought. But I like to take the conversation wherever the energy in the room is on that particular evening. And the energy in the room is created through that interaction, what's on somebody's mind. And in the process of sharing, there's always a beautiful gem that comes out. You know this, okay? Because you've seen this so many times. And I know it too. And I know there's going to be magic every call. I just, I'm ready for it. I anticipate it. And then generally we go down that particular segue for something that triggers something. And it's a very organic call because we go where the feeling is on that particular evening. And then before you know it, people just, oh, okay, something pops for them and they share, and something pops that somebody else says and they get to share. So that organic nature and the authentic nature, and all I do is set out to create just a beautiful, safe space, what we set out to do, with a guided conversation. And, we're the guides, I'm the guides if it's me, and we if it's Deb and I. And magic happens on every call. Every
That's
call.
awesome. So it's very
Yeah.
fluid. So you come with a topic, but it's just fluid on the direction you guys go.
Absolutely. And this week's was quantum directive, and kind of it's all about intuition, but and Deb printed off what Cynthia wrote a little while back about the whole space, and I had a quick look at it. No, okay, fine, that was the topic because we gave these to Peggy a few weeks ago. I just thought ahead, so that way I didn't have to rack my brain on the day. What am I going to say? So, but it actually morphed into a different conversation on Wednesday evening, and what was beautiful was, in the space of love and in the space of divinity and knowing we're in touch with our creator, then the possibility set, what is possible, is infinite. And all things are possible. And yet, so that's a paradigm of possibility thinking. And yet, the way we're conditioned and programmed is probability thinking.
Mm.
Okay. And I that just hit me on the evening, that there's this enormous distinction between possibility thinking, where you can create anything, right? And this was the space that Cynthia adopted when she and Dr. Ray decided, and the core of the admin team, that they were going to launch QHS then and there. The time was now, 2 years ago. Couldn't wait for any other things to fall into place, right? They ditched the whole, how can we do this? What's the probability of succeeding, healing humanity with no real resources? Oh, really, right? That's pretty low probability. But when you are connected to your God spark, if you like, to use the same analogy and some of the Cynthiaisms, if you like, then a whole lot more is possible. And I love that we can expand people's horizons just by having a conversation, right? And just by having a shared conversation. And the more people that contribute authentically to that conversation, the more aha moments happen, right? Where people, oh, that's a perspective I had never considered before. And whoa, what if that were true in my life? What would that result in? What would happen if I adopted this new mindset, if you like, this framework of thinking? Okay, so that expanded thinking and raising the vibrations back up to that, that love frequency. And a lot of the members have come through Love One Society. And that's society, and Ron and the way he leads it have attracted that higher frequency of thinking. And it's beautiful that they're on the call, and what we get to experience, everyday life kind of tries to drag you back down into the weeds. And just for an hour a week, we get out of the weeds and we metaphorically fly. And we view life from a much higher perspective where, okay, we remove those constraints. We move the probability thinking, which all it is your historical framework and what you're used to. That's what informs probability. But when you ditch that and you adopt a new mindset, it's a reset. It's an absolute reset. And in that reset, it's transformational because you have a different possibility for a whole new way of being going forward.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true, because all the constructs that have been our path, our history, our lessons have really kept to diminish our light. And I know I've been with Ron for over 2 years, like 3 years now. And so I know that his way of thinking is like, whoa. And the eloquence behind the spiritual beings that are in that organization it's amazing, because they email me all the time. So I read and I can feel their consciousness, because they're a different breed than what I'm used to in my reality here,
Yeah.
So that's fun. So do you guys only speak English in that room, or is it multi languages?
We only speak English in the room, and there's the closed captions capability. And and we've got representation from, I mean, all over. It's amazing, right? You go to Scandinavia, we've got Norway, Denmark, Finland, Iceland. We had a member join us from Iceland. How cool is that, right? And then we've got Scotland, Ireland, England, France, Spain, Germany, Luxembourg, Austria. And then, we occasionally have one of our members from South Africa joins us, and then Malaysia, obviously Australia, East and West Coast, and then our friends in New Zealand. So we've got members coming in at 7 a.m. their time in parts of Europe. And the, excuse me, the Kiwis are joining us it's 8 p.m. their time. And one of our members, and not only that, but we had folks from the US join us, from Florida and Idaho, and Peggy's always on, and she was dialing in from not Peggy, Andrea Paris.
Andrea?
That's right. Yeah, I'm sorry, we'll have to edit that one out. But Andrea joins us. She traveled to California and dialed in. And it's just this really rich tapestry. And one of our members from Norway shared at the closing, and if you can get that access to that, Tracy, have a listen to it. It is gold, absolute gold. Okay, I'll point out where it is offline.
Okay.
But here's a member that was on just about every single call, always came with this beautiful smiling energy, never shared, not once, but always acknowledged, and always, you could sense the energy. Wow. This week at the closing, I was just, any last thoughts from anybody? And bang, he decided to jump up and held the floor and shared authentically from the heart. It was just the most magical sharing ever, right, that I've experienced. And, every share is beautiful. Every single share is beautiful, but there are some that are just next level. And this was one of those moments. And when people do that, it's transformational for everybody, because that stays in your being going forward. And it also gives others the permission to say, hang on, okay, this person's never shared before. And yet when they did, it was the most beautiful sharing ever. And so that's what we're trying to foster and cultivate and create the environment where that is possible from a non-native English speaking person, and having the environment where people feel comfortable doing that. That's what we set out to do. Okay. That's the name of the game.
I love it.
Mm.
Absolutely love it. So, I have a few questions for you. So, how would you explain your group to another QHS member that has never joined you? Just in a couple sentences, what would you say?
Ooh, in a couple of sentences, I would say we are embracing the international QHS community and providing a venue and an opportunity for people to get to know other international members at a very deep, authentic level and share in their healing journeys. But much broader than that, share in their whole outlook on life and lift each other up to raise our vibration, raise the frequency at which we're vibrating, so that we can take this message out to a much broader community as the, I guess, the way showers that we are.
I love that. And then what type of an atmosphere or energy are you wanting to create for the members that attend, like inside these group meetings?
Oh, for starters, it's relaxed. Okay, really relaxed. And it's organic. I used that term earlier. Organic, relaxed, light-hearted. And here's the paradox. How can you be light-hearted and go deeply down rabbit holes that you couldn't have a conversation about in the general public with just anybody? But there is nothing really that no place we can't go. Right? Everything's is, well, let me give that some more thought. There are places I don't go, right? But from when you're operating from that place of love, then the places you go are all acceptable, safe places. Does that make sense, Tracy? When I mean, we're not going. I don't. When you go lighthearted from a place of love, that all the places you go are beautiful, and everybody sharing results in other people getting something of benefit for them, something that they can take, some perspective they've never considered before that they can contemplate whether that perspective resonates with them and whether it will make a difference if they adopted that perspective in some element of their lives. So light-hearted, safe, friendly, congenial, relaxed. There's a few keywords for you.
Those are perfect. And
Yeah.
what are you hoping to accomplish through these gatherings? Like, what is your sole purpose?
Oh, my sole purpose. Well, we are playing our part in the mission to heal humanity. And the way we do that is by building this morphic field around frequency healing. And we're doing that on an international level. And the deeper and more connected we become in this narrative of quantum healing at an international level, the stronger the fabric of our tapestry becomes as we go from fringe to mainstream. And I mean mainstream in a nice way, not in, not in that rump of the bell curve way where people are operating on automatic mode. This is a new mainstream. It hasn't formed yet, but it's formed in our minds. It's formed in Cynthia's mind. It's formed in Dr. A's mind, Wade's mind, Ron's mind. All of our ambassadors have this mindset. You've got it, Tracy, right? In the way you're playing your role in spreading the message so beautifully to others. So, those little sound bites resonate. You can play this in the car, right? And oh, that's cool. Right. It's beautiful. It's multimedia. So we're doing our bit to build and strengthen this. Well, it's a movement, isn't it?
It's a movement. You were
Yeah.
saying something and it just reminded me, you were saying a mainstream, and I was thinking of, we're shifting from a paradoxical mainstream like that we were fed, all the propaganda, into a heartfelt knowing the
Yeah.
truth about ourselves as well as where we're going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that shift, that shift cannot happen abruptly.
Yeah.
Right. The more abrupt it is, the more people we lose along the way. And we like the saying, where we go one, we go all. And
Yeah.
we love the saying, no one left behind. So that's really our mantra, is we are inclusive of everybody. We embrace everybody that wants to make a positive contribution to this movement, wants to learn from others, share with others, help others grow, support each other. And as a collective, the stronger we become individually and the stronger we are as a connected entity and a connected organization, the higher the probability that we will thrive, right? Because let's face it, Cynthia and Dr. A and the core of the admin team, they took it on faith, and they took it that this possibility of healing humanity was a foregone conclusion in their minds. So what we're doing, and we got the calling and said, this is for us. There's just no choice in this, really, if you think about it. Once you get called at the heart level, you can't be uncalled from this, right?
Right.
You can't be half pregnant. You're either in or you're not in, right? This is binary. And if you're in, the more you're in, the more you contribute to this movement, the more you get back. It's that classic of to give is to receive. And what comes back is such a bountiful cornucopia of magnificence. It's extraordinary. It's just an absolute pleasure to be involved, and a privilege.
Yeah, we are in such a beautiful place. I was just telling Wow today that it's like we all came here for this purpose and we planned it lifetimes ago. So it's now about remembering each other. And I said how sometimes I do interviews with people and I'm like, gosh, I feel like I know you. Like it's
Oh
just
yeah.
so,
Oh yeah.
interesting. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be here for this purpose. Exactly. So
Yeah.
Jurgen, what time is your call? When is it? Just in case, like talk like say everything Cynthia says is central. So what time is it
Yeah.
central?
Oh, that you'll have to. Oh, that changes. I'm going to give the standard answer is 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. Okay, Eastern, this time of the year, it's Eastern Daylight Time, and Central Time, golly, it's probably 2 a.m., 1 or 2 a.m., thereabouts. Okay. um,
Okay.
ish. Okay. Ish, but I never put it in Central Time because we're not appealing to the Central Time audience, if you like, right? I can say that in UK it's 7 a.m. and Europe is around that time, first thing in the morning, and we're late afternoon in Australia, and the Kiwis are early evening, 8 p.m. in New Zealand time. So we're spanning 13 hours of time zones.
Okay, I think I found a newsletter with the time zones in it. So I want
Well, make sure it's
to
a recent one, because
It is.
there's so many changes with daylight savings coming and going.
Oh, shoot. Okay, Dallas time is 1 a.m.
There you go. There you go.
So
This
there we
time of the year. Yeah.
Right now it's Dallas time 1 a.m. So if you're a night owl, you might want to jump on and check it out, because I know Andrea, that would be, I think, 2 a.m. for Andrea, and she loves it. And I also will say that I've heard people tell me they're even addicted to the call and on it when they're on vacation. So Jurgen and Debra, you guys are doing something magical, I'll tell you.
Oh, thanks, Tracy. Well, it's not a cure for insomnia, because it sure takes me a long time after a call to get to sleep, because the buzz that I get from the call just stays with me for, a good 12 hours. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jurgen, for everything you do. And what would you like to say in closing, my dear?
Oh, what I'd like to say in closing, firstly, Tracy, is to thank you for everything that you do, in making it accessible for members to be able to hear this message and hear the testimonials from everybody else. And I think that, and leave an open invitation for anybody, just come and join us and see what magic happens for you, because I guarantee you there will be magic for you. Just come and join us, come and participate, and the more you share, the more you give back, and the more you give permission for others to shine their light.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hosting the calls every week, for providing that beautiful atmosphere and energy in your room. And thank you just for being you. You guys really do light up all the calls you're on, the volunteer call, the Q&A call. You always provide that pearl of wisdom. And it reminds me a lot of John. So thank you.
And thanks for acknowledging that, because John was a pivotal part of what we did on our calls, and he always came in at really important junctures in the call, and he would pick up that gem and just highlight it and show the different facets of it for everybody, just to get what just happened and make sure that nobody was left behind. So I'm pretty sure that John, wherever he is, his energy is still with us, and it'll never go. So thank you, Tracy.
All right, my friend. Until next time, have a beautiful day.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for making this QHS project fly. This valorous admin team, thank you. The Key community welcomes you. Thank you for making your home QHS healthy and happy. Thank you for helping us place QH centers all around the world. Together, hand in hand, we make miracles happen. QuantumHealingSystems.org. Thank you.